Hey, how's it going, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Colton's Reviews, where I like to review and talk about Bibles, books, and other theology-related things. And today, I actually just want to do another translation talk, as we've done several of them so far. Today, I want to talk about the New King James Version.
I fix my eyes on Christ. I fix my eyes on Christ.
So the New King James Version is one that I've recently read through, but it kind of felt like revisiting an old friend. And it's hard to put that into words because it's not, this was my first time, to my knowledge, that I've read entirely through the New King James. But it felt really familiar for a lot of reasons. One, I kind of grew up with the New King James, honestly. It's what my pastor / grandfather preached out of growing up. It's what my dad preached out of for a long time before switching to the ESV. You can tell I come from a family of pastors. And I've just have some familiarity with it. As a matter of fact, I wanted to show you this particular Bible that is one of my first nice Bibles that I ever got. And it's this guy. It's the Extreme Teen Bible from Thomas Nelson. It's actually... you can see it's old school. It's got the old school New King James logo on it and everything. This was a gift to me, actually before I was a teen, from my grandparents. And it's New King James. You can see the layout's typical sort of teen Bible layout, but has that early 90s or late 90s, early 2000s feel to it. But it's fun. I'm glad I still have this Bible. But yeah, I sort of grew up with the New King James in a lot of ways. It was the Bible I grew up memorizing. A lot of stuff I say now normally comes out in ESV, but sometimes I look at the wording, it's like, that's actually New King James Version wording. So that's one of the reasons it's familiar, is I grew up with it. I really love this translation a lot. It's the ESV and the New King James Version are my two favorite translations right now, without a doubt. I want to show you the edition of the New King James that I really like. That is my preferred. Like, I think it's almost perfect as far as what I want in the Bible, and that's this guy right here. This is the single column. Side column references. I've done a review of this Bible before on the channel. So let's talk about another reason why it's super familiar to me in the New King James is that I find it pretty similar to the ESV in the way that it reads and things like that. I think it's a great translation. It's poetic. It flows beautifully. I really enjoy it a lot. And also, I want to say the connection to the King James is quite good. It's one of those translations that its intention is very clear. It's meant to be a Bible that updates the King James Version, and I think it does a fantastic job of this, though I know there are those who would disagree. I like it for that reason. So let's talk about the difference between something like the King James, New King James, and the ESV, for example. Why I think it's an important tool to have in your tool belt. And that would be because the textual basis is different. And you may not know this, but the idea is the King James and the New King James use something called the Masoretic text of the Hebrew, which most translations, modern even, still use that as a basis. And then also the Textus Receptus for the Greek New Testament parts, which is what the King James is based off of, and the New King James continues that tradition. I don't want to get into all the nerdiness of text criticism in this channel. It's not really something I'm an expert in. I'm just interested in it. But the idea is, you have the Textus Receptus is what basically the Protestant Reformation is what was used throughout there. It's often referred to as, part of the Byzantine family of text types versus the modern critical text, which is what things like the New American Standard, the English Standard Version, the CSB, NIV, they're based off of that modern text. That doesn't mean, that one is necessarily better than the other, although there's a lot of argument about that, and I certainly have an opinion about that, but I don't want to get into it right now. I'm still figuring out my opinion about it, to be honest with you. And if you want to get in on some of that discussion, I highly recommend to you a channel for the more critical text advocate side, would be Mark Ward. Check out some of his stuff. For the more Textus Receptus side of things, check out Dr. Jeff Riddle. Really enjoyed both of their work in trying to figure this stuff out for myself. So check those things out. So all that to say, it is different on its textual basis. You're going to have verses that are not put in the footnotes, that are just left in line in the text. Things like the end of the Lord's Prayer, things like 1 John 5:7 and its fullness, the comma Johannium, or however you say it, comma Johannium. Things like that are left in line in the text instead of bracketed or put in the footnotes, which I think is cool. I really enjoy that while reading Scripture. I really like this translation a lot. It fits really well in with my life as far as what I want to read. And I'll say it. I don't know how to say it other than this. If I had to pick two translations and that was all I could ever read, it would be the English Standard Version and the New King James Version. They're different and yet alike. And I think they both have this idea of literary beauty and flow, not just literal translation, though they both are, I think, quite literal in their approach. It's not just about that. It's about the flow of language, the comprehension, the beauty of Scripture being captured by them. So really like it a lot. I'm going to link some reviews I've done and some Bibles that you may be interested in that are New King James below. Also wanted to mention, if you want to support me as a content creator, one of the things that I want to encourage you to do is to check out, there will be a link below, foundationfellowship.church. As I've mentioned before on the channel, I am planting a church next year is the goal. I'm in a residency program right now. And man, I'll just be honest with you. My wife and I, my family and I, we could use your support if you want to give it in this process as we prepare to plant. So if you're interested in that, there'll be a link down below where you can check us out, and there's a way to give online if you want to that work. I think it's an important work. So just want to mention that for you guys. Don't forget to like this video if you liked it. Let me know what you think about the New King James down below. If it's a translation you love, don't care for, hit me up. And don't forget to subscribe as well if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next video.